Good morning, all of you. In class 11, accountancy, our today's topic is concepts of accounting, theory base of accounting, that is chapter 2. And in that chapter, we are on the some principles. So we completed few principles, but still some are there. And then further, we will move towards next topic. So today's topic is accounting principles. Yesterday we completed dual aspect concept, consistency concept, matching concept. Then afterwards the few are remaining. So I will explain you these one. Yes. We completed 10 principles or 10 concepts. Now 11th concept is little bit difficult for you. See how it is difficult. I will explain you. Conservatism concept. It is also known as prudence concept. Conservative concept or prudence concept says that anticipated profits are not to be accounted but only possible losses. It means this is the policy of playing safe. It means, example, inventory is valued at cost or market price, whichever is less. What does it mean? It means the businessman should think about future losses also. Future losses in present. This is the policy of remain safe. Conservative prudence say or prudence concept says don't show the excess value, don't do the overvaluation of assets or undervaluation of liabilities. No, this is not good for the businessman. For the business, cost price or market price, whichever is less, a businessman should enter the stock or the inventory at that value. So anticipated profits are not to be accounted. It means don't think about future profits in present. They will be there. But think about possible losses. Think about the losses which may be there in future. And always remain at the safer side. That's why businessman prepares some reserves. Reserves means part of profit keep aside for future needs. Okay? So conservatism or prudence principle says that don't show overvaluation of asset. Always think the future losses in the mind. That's why inventory is valued at cost price or market price, whichever is less. See, I am giving you the example. In a businessman's godown, the goods are kept. The cost price is 1 lakh, but the market value of that good is only 80,000. What he has to do? He has to show this asset at market price, whichever is less. Okay? Then next principle is materiality concept. Little bit new for you. Materiality concept means insignificant and immaterial facts need not be disclosed in details. Very good example here. Stock of pens, pencil, paper, scale are not shown as asset. Otherwise, you will have long list of accounts. It is treated as stationary expenses, whether consumed or not. Okay, I am giving you one more example. First, I have to explain it. Then, materiality concept says only those items to be shown in the books, which are have some insignificant value. Is it possible for a businessman to enter in the books that I have pens of rupees 10 rupees, scale of rupees 2, pencils of rupees 8, then there will be a long list of accounts. That's why it is suggested to them that you should combine all the similar things like pen, pencil, paper, scale, all are to be shown as stationery expenses. Insignificant and immaterial facts need not to be disclosed. But yesterday I gave you one principle, full disclosure. But that principle is related with the information. Here, materiality concept. See, a businessman in the businessman having two chairs, one table, two stools. It is not suggestible according to materiality concept that he has to show in his books two chairs, one table, three stools. No. What he has to do? He has to combine all these tables, chairs and stools value and show it as furniture. Okay, clear? Like here in the school, if we have 100 fans, 200 tube lights, what they have to show it in the books, that is pictures. Okay, no need to show each and every, that is insignificant. Same here, no need to show the everything like scale, pencil, rubber, eraser. No, all should be accumulated, combined and shown as one item. Then 13th, objectivity concept. See, this is not related with the objection. Objectivity concept says, this principle says, everything, every information which you are showing in the financial statement should have some supportive evidence, some proof. Without proof, you cannot go in court. Some bill, some voucher, there may be some supportive evidence as a proof, some conclusive proof. Like a businessman is saying that he bought one car of rupees 10 lakh. Income tax authority also says, where is the proof? Where is the bill? Some bill, proof, receipt, voucher, something is there. This is the objectivity concept. Objectivity concept says everything, whatever you are showing in the books, purchase of asset, sale of asset, you should have some bill, some proof, some voucher. Okay, then your accounts will be reliable. Okay, so these are the principles or concepts we completed. See, this is the list. Business entity, money measurement, going concern, accounting period, cost concept or historical cost concept. On the day one, first video. Then dual aspect, duality, revenue recognition, realization, matching concept, full disclosure concept, consistency concept, conservatism means prudence concept, materiality, and last objectivity. Objectivity means there will be some proof. Now, new topic, system of accounting. Systems of accounting. See, my dear children, there are two systems. Two systems of accounting. Double entry system, single entry system. DAS, SES. Then you will be able to understand it and learn. It's easy for you to learn. Dual aspect concept is based on double entry system. So there are two systems of accounting. Yes, double entry system. Double entry system says this is a complete, accurate, reliable system of accounting as it records both the aspects of transactions in the books of accounts. Both the aspects, inflow, outflow, receiver, giver, expenses, income, debit, credit. So double entry system says this is a complete, accurate and reliable system of accounting and it records both the aspects of the transactions in the books of accounts. Both the aspects means according to dual aspect concept, every transaction has minimum two side effects. Every transaction affects two accounts, two sides, debit, credit, inflow, outflow, receiver, giver. That is double entry system. See, complete, accurate and reliable system is double entry system. Then principles of double entry system. Just now I gave you the examples. Two aspects for every transaction, debit and credit, receiving, giving, inflow, outflow. Okay, then both the aspects should be recorded in the books, both the aspects, inflow and outflow both. For every debit there must be a corresponding credit. Okay, for every debit there must be a corresponding credit. Now come on, single entry system. Single entry system is incomplete system. In the name itself, it is incomplete accounting system because single entry system is old system and according to it only one aspect is recorded, one entry and no entry. One entry and no entry. See, it is not a complete system of accounting. Under this system, some transactions, both the aspects recorded and for some others only one aspect may be recorded. See the mistake, see the result, that's why it is known as incomplete. If a businessman prepares accounts according to single entry system, income tax authority will be refuse it. First, what they will say, go and prepare that records according to double entry system and then come with your accurate results, reliable results. It is not a complete system. Clearly mentioned single entry means incomplete. Under this system, in some transactions, both the aspects may be recorded and for some others, only one aspect may be recorded. It is a mixture of double entry, one entry and no entry. So today I just explain you systems of accounting, double entry system, single entry system. Double entry system means the accounts to be recorded in both the sides, two sides, and single entry system means the accounts recorded in one side only or the transaction will have effect on one side only. Double entry system is a complete, accurate, reliable system of accounting. Why reliable? Because it is recording all the transactions in two sides. There will be no scope for hiding anything. And single entry system is known as incomplete system. Some transactions have recorded in one side, some at two sides, some has no entry. That's why it is termed as incomplete. Okay, now next. Basis of accounting. Basis of accounting means accounting are based on two systems, two bases are there. First is recording of transaction is made only when cash received or paid. Cash basis means just maintain the cash book only. What is inflow, what is outflow, nothing else, only the cash basis to be entered. Recording of transaction is made only when cash received or paid. Generally, cash basis system used by like not-for-profit organization, a small businessman. What they do, they sell the goods on cash basis only. So they maintain cash book only and they treated all the transactions on the basis of cash. What is inflow, what is outflow. Okay, so cash basis. Then accrual basis. Accrual basis means recording of transaction in the same period, whether paid or not. Whether paid or not. Whether, see, outstanding means not paid. Okay, not paid yet. But it is to be entered in the books. This is accrual basis. Like at the end of the financial year, electricity bill is not there. We will pay in the next month. But that is to be entered in the books as outstanding. Outstanding means the expense is due but not paid yet. So recording of transaction in the same period, whether paid or not, these are the two bases. See, I'll explain you. Wait. There are two systems of accounting, double entry system, single entry system, and there are two bases of accounting, cash basis or accrual basis. Cash basis means immediate entered. Cash received, enter it. Cash paid, enter it immediately. And it is based on cash basis. But accrual basis means the transaction mostly on the basis of credit. So accrual basis says that transactions to be entered, whether paid or not. So my dear children, today we completed concepts, principles, all the 13 principles in your course, and then this is system. Systems of accounting are of two types of systems that can be used, double entry system and single entry system, but it is always suggestible that double entry system should be opted. Then there are two bases of accounting, cash basis, accrual basis. Cash basis means enter immediately when the cash received or cash paid. And accrual basis means enter whether the cash paid or not. So these two are the topics also. Okay, principles, 13 principles we completed, which is also known as concepts and conventions. And today I explain you systems. Systems, there are two systems, double entry system and single entry system. And basis of accounting are also of two types, cash basis and accrual basis.